let's see. We have a section, and what do we have here? We have a course, a section. So here we have a course. We have a course object class, and we have a student. So say a student wants to review a course, right? So a course review, would entail saying that this particular student is creating a review on that particular course, right? So they love that course, blah blah blah. So we need two foreign keys, right? We need to say, oh, that student is reviewing that course over there. Plus, we need to add, maybe a title for the review, maybe the actual review, maybe comments or whatever, how complicated we want to. So to do that, we would implement a class that would implement the association, right? So a course review, right? A course review would have here a private string, a title of the review, and maybe the actual review content, right? Whatever I type in there, okay? And then each student, instead of students having a list of sections, if we want to create a many-to-many between students and courses, it's a many-to-many between students. So one student reviews many courses, and one course is reviewed by many students. So it is a many-to-many, right? So typically we would do the same thing. We would have a list of the courses that I am reviewing, right? Courses reviewed. But notice that this allows me to keep track of the course that I'm reviewing, but not the review itself. Where would I put the review? Right? I can't put it in the course, right? So I need a new class. See that? Because there are fields that don't belong to the student, don't belong to the course. It belongs to the association between the two. Yes? So this would be a course review. So reviews. Yes? And on the course, it would be the same thing. In the course, you would have the same thing. You would have a private list of course reviews as well. Reviews. Notice that these are not they're not the same, right? Because one student can review many courses. Yes, of which, if I'm looking at course 1, there might be just one review from me, right? So from my point of view, I have many course reviews, of which each one of them can be a different course. But if I'm looking at it from the point of view of the course, I'm looking at also course reviews, but these are all the course reviews that pertain to me. That particular course will have all the students that reviewed me as a course. Okay, and from both sides, right, we are implementing a one-to-many relationship, right? Oh, I guess I have till 25, right? Yeah. So from both sides, this would be implemented as a one-to-many, right? From the point of view of the students to the course review, one student has many reviews, and from the point of view of the courses, it's the same thing, right? From the courses, it will also be a one-to-many. One course has many course reviews. Make sense? All right. All right. So we have that. The other thing to consider is that the course review would want to have as primary keys a unique identifier, right? The combination of both fields, right, would be the primary key, saying that it's unique that so-and-so reviewed this course, and that I would not have duplicates, that the same student is reviewing the same course again, right? So typically I would have here fields on the ID would be private, the course, the integer for the course ID, And I would also have as primary key the private integer for the student that is reviewing that course. Okay, this would be a table. This would be a completely separate table as opposed to the join table before, right? It was its own table, but it didn't have a class associated to it. Remember that? Right here, we are building an entire class. Also, to enforce the uniqueness of course ID and student ID, the combination, we can establish the ID class. We can establish that in a separate class, right, there's going to be a combination between the course ID and the student ID that need to be unique, right? So to do that, we're going to have a separate class that's going to combine the course ID and the student ID. So in a separate class here, I would say create a new class, and this will be the course review ID class, and this keeps track of the private, I guess it would be public, public integer course ID and public integer student ID. Right, this is going to declare a unique identifier as a composite key, right, that maps both the course ID and the student ID. Make sense? Right? Now the database is going to need to be able to compare these to make sure that they are unique. So we'll need to implement Boolean equals, right? That is going to allow us to compare this to other course review IDs, right? Object. Other, right? I have let me copy that from here. Where is it? Equals. Oh, object. Sorry, this is object. Right. So no, this is overriding. Right, this is overriding the base implementation of equals. Right. We just have to implement our own. So the first thing that we're going to check is make sure that other is an instance of course review. Right, ID. If it's not, then obviously these are not the same, right? So if it's not an instance, then obviously these are not the same, okay? And also they are only the same if both the course ID and the student ID, right? For my IDs are the same as your IDs, then we are the same, okay? So only if this dot course ID equals other dot course ID, okay, and this dot student ID is equals to other dot student ID. Okay, only if then we're going to return true. Otherwise, if both fails, we're just going to return false. We're not the same. Okay, and this is going to use it to make sure that this is unique, right? That it's not being repeated, right? And whatnot. Okay. Then we also need to implement a hash, right? Which hash code as an integer. We're just going to add both of them. We're just going to return the summation of both. The course ID plus the student ID as a hash code. Okay. All right. Now that we have that, we can go back to the course review and say that the class that is being used as a combined primary key, composite key, is the course review ID dot class. Right. That is the class that is going to have the both primary keys. Okay. Once we've done that, just like we have the course has a one-to-many with course review, well, the course review is going to have a many-to-one with the course, right? And just like the student also has a one-to-many with the course review, well, the course review is going to have a many-to-one with the student, right? So in the course review, we're going to have here, so that we're going to have a many-to-one many to one, many to one for the private course, right? And we're going to have a many to one for the student. Okay, I think that's it. Many to one, many to one. Do we have to map these? Many to one. Yeah, we don't have to map it. And oh yeah, so the on the other side, right, on the course, we do have to have a reviews is going to be mapped by, and this is course. Okay, and on the student side, the sections or the reviews is going to be mapped by a student. Okay, all right, and there it is. Okay, we can finish up this on Monday.